You could just start it off right with ice cream, huh?
That's a good idea.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Wait, so you're eating rice? You're already eating ice cream. Talk about quite the pause for anyone listening out there. Currently, Chris is showing a tub of ice cream that he's trying for his ice cream review. Talk about last minute, first of all.
And what's funny is it's been in my freezer for 2 days. I
Wait,
could have
hold on.
sampled it 2 days ago.
What is it?
It's dulce de leche, and I have no idea if that's the right way to say it. But
Dolce de leche.
if I was gonna say what was in the freezer staring me in the face, 2 for $7, I couldn't say no.
Of
I
course not.
wanted to. I wanted to. Trust me, I wanted to. 160 calories right here.
Oh yeah, that's very easy to do whenever it comes to ice cream.
Man, is it ever. And, so I started on this about a half hour ago, got carried away doing something. Now it's nice and melted, and I love it melted, by the way.
What's the brand?
I think it was Best Choice is
Best
the
Choice.
name of the brand. And I guess it's, what does City Market have for or Walmart have for their Walmart brand,
I think it's great value.
Yeah, okay. Well, this grocery store that's 5 minutes away from my RV here. This is theirs.
Okay.
But I saw the sticker and I saw that price and I was like, man, I got 2 of them for the price that this other company's want to charge me. I'm going for it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make sure I spread it out and not do it all in one setting.
Straight to the point. I mean, that's how I do it. Even with my Halo top, I'll go ahead and split the pint in between 2 days. Especially if it's one of the mix-ins that are the slightly higher calorie, still very low, but higher calorie little pints.
Yep.
Just because, I'm satiated by the time I get halfway through, after dinner, of course, and
Right.
it does the job and get to look forward to it again.
Yeah. And satisfies the sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Which is a really big deal for Cronenbergers.
Yeah, dude, my sweet tooth has grown each and every day. It is worse than it has ever been. And I thought I would quench it by going to Universal's Epic Universe, the theme parks. I
No.
shouldn't say just Epic Universe,
No.
but all of the theme parks. No, it made it so much worse. Now I want to go back. Now I want to go do more. I want to go try other things. I want to eat the same thing I had before. It's bad.
Well, you awoke new addictions.
Oh, man. Now I just got to maintain a good balance, enjoy in moderation.
Yes. Yeah, then that's what it's all about, doing things in moderation.
Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since you went straight into your ice cream flavor, I guess I should go into mine.
Well, you should, as a matter of fact.
All right,
What did you do this week?
Are you talking as far as ice cream goes?
Well, of course. You mean, are we not sampling a new ice cream every week?
That's the goal. I will say I may have dropped the ball on that as far as ice cream, but I did try a new dessert.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. So, I mean, it's in the same realm.
So, okay, now I'm kind of expecting this, by the way, and I'm even planning for it a little bit because I introduced a new what is the word? A new pride? No, a new
Incentive or challenge whenever it comes to our Montana trip.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what is that challenge?
That challenge is to make the best dessert out of 4 different desserts. So it's going to be your mom and I, and it's going to be your wife and you, and Levi's wife and him, and Lizzie's husband and her. And each of those will be a part of the 4-part contest to make the best dessert. And of course, it's going to be hard to decide, no doubt, but that's going to be the contest, and going to be a $200 prize and 2 $50 gift certificates from Amazon. So in my opinion, it's definitely worth winning. That means each person gets $150.
To say the least, I'm definitely bringing it. Tiff and I are already concocting some recipes. We have some taste testing happening. Of course, we're going to wait till cheat day because the taste testing, both Tiff and I, our contribution will not be healthy. I'm just going to lay that out now.
It's a cheat day dessert?
It will be a cheat day dessert, and it will be
good.
It will be fun. I'm excited to see what everyone brings. I'm excited to see how Tiff and I's turn out. Yeah, look forward to that in the future.
Now, surely you're trying it out long before you enter it into the contest.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to be probably doing some taste testing experiments over the next couple weeks.
Okay.
But we're going to try a couple, and then whichever one we land on, we'll we'll choose that one and then kind of build off of it and
Yes.
hopefully find the perfect recipe before going down there
And
or
as you
going up
know,
there.
this is something we've started this past year and thoroughly enjoyed, by the way. And these contests, part of the judging is on presentation. I'm sure you're working on that as well.
Presentation is important to me. I'm going to be honest. I was thinking of that prior to what I was making. I was thinking this has to be presentable and look good
Yep.
and taste good, but
Yep.
that's an afterthought. The presentation, it's good that I have Tiff because she's definitely keeping it homey, like or she's keeping me grounded at home by saying, "Okay, keep in mind this has to taste good." And I'm like, "Okay, okay, okay." So,
Right on.
hopefully the
Right on.
presentation is equal
Yep.
to that of the taste.
And that's exactly what I'm expecting because we're doing it as teams, right?
Yes.
And as teams, I know there's going to be some fun stuff come out of it. We're going to have wonderful, wonderful time that night, and the grandkids are just going to have a blast.
So this is happening at our Montana trip, which is approximately a countdown of 3 weeks
Yep.
from now.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Crazy.
Yes, it is.
It's coming quick.
And I know, right? All of a sudden, it's here. I
Yes.
mean, it was just yesterday we were talking about this 6 month, this trip that happens in 6 months,
Half a
and now
year.
all of a sudden, 2.5 weeks from now, we're booking, baby.
Dude, when you come down, we'll grab the cars. And for anyone out there that hasn't listened to previous episodes, we are taking a Montana vacation to where we're renting 2 vehicles. I actually don't think we've said this at all yet, but we're taking 2 vehicles and
Yep.
we're road tripping. We're road tripping up to
Yep.
Montana, through Montana, possibly
Yep.
dipping into Canada and
Yep.
just doing a whole
Plan
lot of
to.
exploration.
Yep, absolutely. Those two Suburbans, and of course, I'm going to tie them up with my satellite dish. Those two Suburbans are just going to be having a blast for
Oh, man.
a little bit over a week and almost a half.
It'll be fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
before we start, I mean, I guess I should say we haven't truly started it yet.
that's
Started
true.
the podcast yet because I haven't introduced.
That
But
is
before we
true.
do, I got to give my dessert rating on what I
Yes, you
had
do.
just to, match you because you've already given yours. Mine was accessible to everyone out there. If you're familiar with Crumble, mine was actually at Crumble. I just forgot the name of it. Bear with me here.
You can't forget the name of a dessert from
Yeah.
Crumble for crying out loud,
Well, my mind got stuck on the Dubai chocolate that happened 2 weeks ago, but that was
right?
2 weeks ago.
We've already talked
This
about that.
I know.
Yes.
This weekend, Tiff and I went and we got what did I
Was
get?
it chocolate? Was it?
Thank you. Yes. Crumble partnered with Oreo and Reese's and they created an Oreo Reese's cookie cake sandwich. So it was
Ew.
Oreo crumble like crust on both sides of
Mm,
like a cookie. And then the
ugh,
center was a Reese's like peanut butter, Reese's flavoring, sweetness, deliciousness into a sandwich. And
oh my goodness.
it was outrageously good and horrible for me. That thing was 1,200 calories. I'm just gonna
Oh my
say that.
God.
That
That
one
was just
little
one
cookie.
cookie? Wow.
A good cheat day, to say the
Now,
least.
it almost sounds too rich to take a bite of.
I like that. I think my sweet tooth handles it well, so whenever I went in, I had the expectation that it was gonna be pretty rich. So, kind of having that in my afterthought and in my mind, I just enjoyed it immensely. I knew what I was going in for. I got chocolate, I got peanut butter, I wasn't complaining.
Wow, man. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out Crumble, see if they've
The
got it
unfor
this week.
They don't. It was, this is the bittersweet about it. Crumble changes weekly, as
Mm,
most of you know.
mm.
Crumble changes weekly, and this week is, of course, a completely different menu. There's a possibility it might be back in the future. But the reason why they were doing this whole Oreo Reese's collab was because they just announced a new Oreo cookie that partnered with Reese's, like the actual Oreos. They
Well,
partnered with
yeah,
Reese's,
yeah,
and
and if I'm not mistaken, you purchased a whole
I
pack of them.
did. I certainly did, and it's
Mm.
been quite difficult not eating the rest of them not on cheat day.
Okay, so you tried to eat as many as you could on a cheat day?
No. No, I got the actual Oreo Reese's, and, it turns out those things are, of course, delicious, Oreo Reese's it's like a Parent Trap if you're ever familiar back whenever in the movie is it Parent Trap?
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
but she dips the Oreo into the peanut butter, and, I mean,
Yes,
they just turn that but now
yes,
it's Reese's, you got that Reese's taste to it, and,
yes.
it's good, so I would recommend you guys go try it and let us know what you guys think about those Oreo Reese's.
Well, so something I have to make clear. It looked like a package of Oreos, but the colors of chocolate and peanut butter. Is
Yes.
that what it was?
That's exactly what it was. It was
So
Oreo
Oreos.
cookies. Yes.
So the wafer was what kind? What was the wafer?
The cookies on each end were standard Oreos, and then the center was Reese's. So they took a Reese's and they turned it into a Reese's peanut butter puree, and then that was the center of the cookie.
Wow, man. Even after eating all that ice cream, I'm kind of, thinking, but I'm
Might have to
not.
go
I'm
try it.
not. I'm gonna control myself, and I'm gonna not. I'm just not
Moderation.
gonna do it. Yeah, but
Proud of you.
but it was a good mind image anyway.
I'm
Nonetheless,
glad. I'm glad I could provide that for you.
taste testing it in my mind,
That's what
if you will.
podcasting's all about, you know? I mean, it's all about that mind image. You hit it nail right on the nail on the head.
Yep, yep, yep. Well, okay, so you bought the pack, you tried them, you didn't eat them all. Good for you.
Mhm.
And they were okay, but that cookie from Crumble was in celebration of that?
Yeah, so Crumble partnered because of the fact that Oreo and Reese's just made this partnership and made this announcement. You can also get Reese's peanut butter cups that have Oreo crumbles in them. So like they did a multi collab. So you can do a
I
flip
got
flop
you.
type of scenario.
Yep.
But
2
then Crumble
universes.
wanted in. Yes,
Yep.
exactly. And then Crumble wanted in and they did a partnership with both to where they made a crumble cookie kind of esque type deal, but with Oreo and with Reese's mix ins, creating the ultimate cookie, in my opinion.
Fascinating. Have you tried them both?
Yes, I've tried all of them, and I actually recorded that episode will be out in a couple weeks, so bear with me.
Right on.
Which, I mean, if you're watching this in the future, go check my channel. It might actually be out already. Noah Avery on YouTube or Instagram. Yep, I'm Noah, but go ahead and check that out if you want to see the actual live version of me trying the cookies, along with, I think, Tiffany gave them a try too as well, which was a lot of fun, and Little Buddy. You know, we
Of
all got our
course.
own crumble cookies, and Lincoln, we were able to enjoy them all. It was fun. It was a fun time, but that was my dessert of the week, to say.
Sounds very satisfactory, very tasty.
It was.
Maybe even better than my dulce de leche.
See, now that's where I messed up because it's ice cream. I mean, we're on episode number. Well, before I get there, before I get to episode number, it's actually a perfect segue to move in.
Please do.
I mean, we might as well introduce ourselves.
Yes,
Thank you
let's
for
do.
listening to Duo Jive. Whether you're
Woo!
tuning in for the first time or you've listened into all of our current and previous episodes, all 20 to be exact. Thank you for listening to those, by the way.
That is amazing.
I
So
know
this
we're
is
on episode
season
20.
1, episode 20.
Yes.
Are we still in a
Well,
season?
yes, we are in a
Okay.
season, and this is season 1. It'll keep going until I think probably into early spring. That would be the goal, anyways. Yeah, welcome to Wyoming's #1 podcast for questionable advice, accidental wisdom, and deeply unnecessary storytelling. This is 20.
20. Episode 20. Where
Mhm.
did it see? I mean, we just did episode 1 yesterday.
And now we're already on episode 20. If you blink, we'll be on episode 100.
And that's going to be fun. We've got to do something celebratory.
Let's do it.
I
We'll have
mean,
to go big on maybe like an ice cream dessert that we do on air, or maybe we make that our first live stream episode. Hopefully, if we have some traction or if some listeners would like that, and we have listeners, then maybe do a live stream with them and let them all be a
well,
part of it.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like here, a Thursday night or Friday, move it from a Tuesday to a Thursday or Friday, right? And do it. So we're starting a weekend, right? Go big and do it someplace where it's memorable.
Well,
And
we
it's
have
going to
some
be
options,
sweet, of course.
especially here in Wyoming.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, good. Well, we got something to look forward to.
Yeah,
It's only 80 away.
only 80 away. Yep, just do what we need to do, but like 5 more times, all at 20 episodes.
Well, think of all the things that we talked about and experienced. And yeah, I mean, when we started, I was in Chicago. Is that right?
Yes, you were. You were in Chicago and we're doing some work
And
up
I
there.
was on the weekly going to Johnny's, by the way.
Yes. Which that's not fairly old quite yet.
No, it's
You're
not.
still easing into Denver and being
Yeah,
down
that's
there
true.
and
Yep.
coming from Chicago. So, I mean, that's still
Yep.
fresh in a way, but still
Yep.
past, still the past.
Isn't it something?
It's crazy,
Yeah.
yeah, how time flies. And that's why you always have to be appreciative of the moment you're in, but also being able to kind of stay focused on what's ahead all at the same time.
Man, dude,
So take that as you
that's
may.
a say it again deal right there.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what I just said. So I'm going to have to rewatch this
You've
to.
got to be appreciative of the moment. Got to be appreciative of it. Man, really, man, does it ever resonate with where I was at a couple of weeks ago when I said it was largely about appreciation.
Yes, 100%.
Just appreciate.
Appreciation.
And we're talking about God here, by the way, but it's about it largely. And then life. I mean, this isn't just a God thing. This is also an everyday life thing, just being appreciative and being the kind of person that can love so much of what you've been given and what you have and what you're striving towards, some of the goals you have, loving them enough to really influence other people and affect them so that they grow appreciative, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good stuff, bro.
Hmm.
Well, what happened this week? We recapping it all?
I mean, as far as this week goes, it was kind of just another normal week for Tiffany and Lincoln and I up here in Wyoming. We kind of just we didn't leave Wyoming, but we did go a little. We did do a little bit of exploring. Went to the next town over so we could get some indulge in some crumble along with running some errands. So nothing crazy. Otherwise, it's just
Right.
the same old, same old. Just kind
Right.
of staying in the groove and getting these videos out, which I just actually posted. That's another thing I did post was episode 3 of Epic Universe. Just went live on my YouTube channel, Noah Avery, as well. So
When?
both this past Sunday, so 2 days ago.
Okay, so it was the one I just watched. Okay, just want to make sure I was watching them. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Epic Universe.
Yeah,
Was it Epic
I
Universe?
enjoyed it.
Yep. So
Yeah, yeah, enjoyed the crap out of
then
it.
that was a part 1. So this episode had so much in it that there's actually a part 2 as well coming. But so stay tuned to see that as well. But make sure to check out both that and our other social medias like Duo Jive's Instagram, TikTok, all of the above, basically, whether you're listening on
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Music, all of the above as well. Give us a
Yes.
follow, leave us a comment, let us know what your guys' thoughts are on these episodes and on the podcast. It would be greatly insightful for us so that way we know what to do, being a part of the community later on and
Right
further
on.
on in our
Right
episodes.
on.
So
And
give us a check out.
not to mention what's even maybe a little bit greater than all of that is being able to live vicariously through you and your universal trip. That was freaking awesome.
It was fun, and it's been fun editing them because now I'm able to look back and go, "Wow, being able to relive it is just a blast." I didn't realize that could be a thing. That's why you take
Yeah.
photos is because you can go back and you can relive those moments and
Hmm.
kinda appreciate what you did in the moment and all that good stuff. This just only
Yes.
enhances it because now I'm able to kinda rewatch my whole thing and be like, "Wow, I remember that, and that actually
Yep.
sucked. And this was actually fun, and this wasn't what I thought it was gonna be," and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been fun and yeah, but that's my personal channel, Noah Avery, and then of course check out our Duo Jive accounts as well on all platforms, and give us a follow, like, and subscribe. Thanks
Right
for
on.
listening.
Right on. And that if you don't want to, well, then just don't. But
That's fair. You do you.
we enjoy it and appreciate it and are
That's kind
thankful.
of a recap on my week. What about you?
Well, now you're in Wyoming, right?
Yes.
So I don't think a lot of people really understand how kind of drastically different it is living in Wyoming this time of year. People are still in summer down here. And this is just Denver, where I'm at right now. And
That's
further
not far.
south in California, I mean, in like say St. Louis, for example, in St. Louis, and then going even further south from there. I mean, they're full on summer.
Yeah.
But you are getting up in the morning and probably needing a jacket.
Yes, every morning I'm already wearing a hoodie, which is bittersweet, I'm gonna be honest. I can't complain about the weather because it does heat up. It still definitely gets pretty warm midday, and it stays that way for the majority of the day, but in the evening and in the morning, like early in the morning, it's chilly. So
Yeah.
we're coming this
Yeah.
is fall. I dare
Yeah.
say that this is fall and we're coming into fall full-fledged.
Yeah, well, I've been walking out of the RV here in Denver, which is in geographical speak, it's probably an hour and a half south of the line that you live on, right?
Yes.
In relation to the equator. You live on a line, and I live an hour and a half south of that, or I'm currently living. I'm stationed an hour and a half south of that spot. And so when I come out of the RV in the morning, I'm thinking, it's getting brisk, and I'm feeling a little bit of it and noticing that at some point before too long, I'm going to have to start bringing a hoodie out with me. However, I haven't had to or needed to really. It's not uncomfortable. And then at the same time, like you, it gets pretty warm in the afternoons.
Yes. Yeah, it's still summertime come afternoon, so
Yeah. Yeah,
it's just those early
absolutely.
morning brisk, definitely fall weather feeling in the morning.
And
You're
I'm a
one step
big
behind me.
yeah, I think so, but I'm a really, really, really big fan of the cold. I'm a huge
You
fan
are.
of the cold. Yes, I love cold. And this time of year, I'm a really big fan of. I don't wanna come walking out of my house or my RV or wherever I'm at or my office that I come walking out of 5, 6 times a day. I don't wanna come walking out of it and start sweating. That would be Houston, which would be a total drag, right? A total drag. Now you
Anyone out there from Houston, I appreciate you. Don't let Chris get you down. I enjoy that weather,
No,
both
I'm
Houston
sorry.
and
I'm
Florida.
sorry. I appreciate our listeners and viewers. If they're in Houston, that's great. That's cool. But yuck, man, you live in a stinking yucky place. Sorry, man, that's just my opinion.
They may not know the difference, like,
Oh, that's true.
that's where we're able to kinda show them or at least tell them what,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
northern atmosphere
Share
is
with
like,
them.
to
Yep.
where we're already coming into fall and it's September, like, we're already in the mornings wearing our I am
Yes.
already wearing my jacket up in Wyoming, and you're one
Yes.
step behind me down
Yes.
in Denver,
Yes.
just about to be there and gonna follow close
Yes.
behind. The convenience of where you're at, I feel, is you have all 4 seasons. I always get nervous this time of year because fall is great. I love fall. I just know what comes after, and here, fall does not last long
Yeah.
by any
Yeah.
means. It goes straight
Yeah.
summer, a blink of fall, and then straight winter. So it gets me hesitant on what's to come. But I appreciate these moments that we're in. Chilly mornings, summery afternoons, and rinse and repeat for the time being.
Right on, right on. Well, this lasts, in my opinion, it lasts a pretty good while. Even in Wyoming, it might. What do we see usually around uh, Halloween?
By
We usually
October, it's
see,
snowing.
yeah, we're hitting our first snow, right,
It's
in
always around
Wyoming.
Halloween.
Yep, absolutely. Which is obviously colder and something that most people in the Midwest and especially the South do not don't experience, right? But then it stays kind of like that, where it's hit and miss. Maybe a little bit of snow, maybe a little chillier, but still for the most part comfortable. It doesn't get bad until December.
Yeah. Yeah, it really hits come December, and I dare say it's still manageable
Yep,
until January.
yep,
January,
exactly.
February, March are where it's like,
Yep,
especially in Wyoming, where it's just
yep,
full-fledged winter and you're not seeing the light of day until mid, maybe early April. And then it's only a little bit until the end of April, at which point you're finally coming out. Still
yep,
dealing with some
absolutely.
occasional snowfall until May, which is
And
that's crazy.
if we're in a skiing mode for that particular winter, sometimes we'll be able to go skiing up till May, but most likely not. It's usually going to start ending, April.
And that's
And then
something we
it's
need to
coming.
take advantage of more often because every time wintertime comes around, we always forget and then it kind
Yeah.
of comes and goes and we're like, well, dang,
Yep.
we totally could have went skiing a lot more.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And we should, especially with where we live, right?
That might have to be another video I do
Yeah.
here
There we
during the
go.
winter.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Dude, yeah. Now I'm excited. Let's do it.
Me too.
Okay.
I
So,
mean, I'm trying to hype myself up, but yeah, me too.
well,
Slowly but surely, I'll get there.
it's funny because I don't have to hype myself up. I look forward to it, right? Or I might, but I might not. And if I don't, if even if I looked forward to skiing, right? Skiing more this year than normal. Even if I did, I would still have so much other stuff going on in my life. I wouldn't have a chance to miss it,
Yeah, keep you
which
busy. Hey,
which has been the case, right? And now that you're dad, I think you'll experience a little bit more of that. I know that kind of lends very strongly to that.
I'm seeing it already. That's very
Yeah.
true.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. By the way, I want to give a shout out. Uh, I gotta forget where I got it from, but I was informed that one of our listeners, I think she's a listener, was listening to an episode and she made a comment about it. And I was just excited that Nikki Jolene Grady is listening to Duo Jive. Dear friend of ours from real life, and her husband
I
and the
think I actually
family
saw
is.
that post.
Did you? Yeah,
Yes,
and
I did. And
it was awesome. And
yeah, oh
we're
yeah. Well,
thankful, very thankful that
thank you,
Nikki's,
Nikki.
yeah,
Thanks for
right on.
listening.
It's you as a listener, you're valued, and anybody else is just as valued. But I just thought it was kind of neat that if I didn't expect to hear it that Nikki was listening, and I'm very thankful. And that was cool.
Keep the
Shout out
hype
to
train
Nikki.
going. Hype, hype. Yep. Shout out. Yeah.
So, and that'll happen more and more. I found out when was it? I guess about a week and a half ago that somebody else was listening, and I thought, man, that's just how did you find out about it? That was the first question out of my mind. How are people finding out about it?
I'm
But it's
blasting
always
it as much as I can with social media. I'm
well,
trying as much as I can to get it out there.
naturally. And then it's even more fun to find out whether they agree or disagree with some of the things, or they even liked it, or they felt like it was a waste of time. So it's always fun to find that kind of stuff out. And puts a little pressure on maybe to talk about some things that normally people wouldn't talk about.
Very true. Some hot topics, if you say.
What's that?
Some hot
What'd you say?
topics, if you would
Oh,
say.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and people have also been listening for Universal content and Disney content as well. And that's fun as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is a pretty big niche group there that, there's a lot of people out there that love that type of life between universal, me being one of them, Tiffany being another one, and being able to talk with other people that are like-minded. It's always fun. So, any
Yeah,
questions, concerns, or comments on that?
yeah,
Anyone out there listening, throw
absolutely.
that out and let us know what you guys think as far as just future content to come. If you like the theme park mentality or theme park bits or what else you want to hear or listen to
Or
or our
family
thoughts on.
vacation.
Family
Or family
vacation,
vacation.
yes.
Right on. And
Montana.
I'm sure
Montana.
we're gonna be what's that? What?
Montana trip.
A perfect segue into it, right? I mean, do we feel too much or very much like we want to talk about what's going on that trip, or were you planning
I
to,
mean, I figured I had some topics
or
on it, but I
save that?
figured we might be able to mention it here in the future as we get
Okay.
closer. Because I think
Okay.
we're still, 3 weeks away, maybe the week before, really hit heavy on all of our thoughts on kind of just preparation and what we're excited for on that. There was
Well,
one
look.
thing I actually wanted to ask you,
Okay. Ask.
but before I do, what were you gonna say?
I don't remember now.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, we can kind of just segue right on
So hit
over.
me.
This is a
Yeah. Hit
great
me.
segue. And it's just, brief pause, really awkward, and then we'll move right on.
Yeah. Go
The
ahead.
the thing that I was going to mention to you, and you were talking about maybe some hot topics earlier, was I actually, after speaking to you on that previous episode that we did, you briefly spoke about, young people and their relationship with God and where it is right now. I've been giving a pretty heavy amount of social media content that is Jesus related with young adults. It's almost like the
Okay.
flip flop scenario. Like I don't know if it's because of what we talked about and my phone was listening to me or whatnot, but it's like all of a sudden I'm just kind of filled, which I'm not complaining by any means. It's just I'm filled with content as far as people's thoughts on Jesus, their opinions and their relationships and all that good stuff, which is incredible to see, but kind of takes away from what we were talking about last week, I feel.
Takes away from.
Yeah, because we were kind of just talking about how I guess this generation kind of seems to be lacking in that aspect of having a relationship with God and having a relationship with Jesus. And I don't know, with the content that I've been seeing, maybe it's because it's feeding me what I want to see, and it's not as big as I think it is, but it seems bigger just because it's my algorithm.
Well, I don't know. Let's think about that for a moment. I come from a generation, okay, and then that's one of the cool parts about Duo Jive is I represent a generation and you represent a generation, right? That's two generations here. And it'll be fun when Lincoln can get on that conversation as well, right? Then we'll I know. For a long time it'll be a very immature, right? And young perspective, but still a perspective that can be included, right?
Of
And a
course.
lot of fun. But my generation, I was used to young people, especially people that were my demographic at the time that I was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, that were in my generation that whole time being Jesus freaks. As a matter of fact, a group by the name of DC Talk did a song called Jesus Freaks. I don't know if you remember it, right?
Well, I'm familiar.
Yeah, because I've looked for opportunities to play that song quite a bit. Even when I was on the air at KSBJ, I was looking for opportunities to play that song.
Which is a crazy thing to drop. Anyone out there in Houston, I mean, as you guys know KSBJ. Yes, this guy over here was a big part of that. So there's some lore. There's some deep lore.
Yeah, lore for sure.
Moving on.
And God gave me some really cool experiences with that. But it was a fun time, a really fun time. But at the same time, I was used to a generation that was doing Jesus freak. It was just Jesus freak. We were all Jesus freaks. A bunch of us were, and it was very rare for a young person to be as vocal about things that are not just unpatriotic, not just things that are just the opposite, skewing really heavy towards the opposite of American, but as well just not being godly, right? And now you're that generation. That doesn't mean that's who you are, obviously, because we know where you stand. But that it now. What that also means, I think, and this is don't get me wrong about this, but then this is what I actually kind of feel like you might have meant. Young people today, the ones that are really crazy about God, the ones that are kind of their own Jesus freaks, the ones that are vocal about it, really stand out more. Do they not? In
I
your
think
opinion,
they should. I mean, they have their expression alone should help with that,
their expression?
being that their passion towards it.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you have a passion towards that as much as they do, of course they're going to be a little more vocal and a little more expressive and a little more showy. I guess that
Yeah.
there's is that what you're saying is they're going to the
Well,
people I'm only seeing the people that are truly super passionate about it on social media.
okay. See, that's awesome. And really, it's kind of cool because you guys have a huge platform compared to what we had at my age, when I was your age, right? When I was your age, we didn't have a platform, period. There was no platform. We went to youth group and we might talk at youth group. We might share a little bit. The only platform that was of any substance that I had was KSBJ, but that wasn't the kind of place where you could be as free vocally with how you were or who you were or all that stuff as you can on a social media platform now. And those now your generation has access to a platform that's just freaking huge. And I'm
It's
pretty excited about
it's completely it's changed the world. I mean, like what you were saying as far as your relationship with other people, the only people you knew was the extent of your town, of your
it.
youth
Yeah.
group. And
Yep.
now with our generation, it's now we can see every youth group, every generation, every other town, the rest of the world we're able to compete with instead of just one small town, one small group, one small youth group. It's the rest of the world. And that could be pretty impactful, both in what you
Yes.
speak and
Yes.
what you absorb.
Yes, 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 yes. Matter of fact, would it be, I mean, I personally feel that it would be exciting to share some of those, what do they call them? I just drew a total blank. But social media, young people that are in social media that are really vocal about a relationship with Christ. Influencers. There you
Influencers.
go. Yeah. So to share, maybe next week, share a couple of those influencers so that our audience can partake, can enjoy,
Okay.
watch them. Yeah.
I'll pay attention to their names and kinda jot down who I'm discovering because it's been new for me, kinda taking it all in and just seeing all of this new content that pertains to both Jesus music, Jesus content, Christian-based content, and just kind of that whole realm.
Yes.
It's been cool, and I'll remember that for future.
And it's exciting to hear someone from your generation talking about it. It's freaking awesome.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I It makes me hopeful, to say the least. It makes me hopeful to see where we go with it and what comes of it.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed it
Yep.
continues to keep growing, and as long as everyone like-minded is able to communicate that on social media, I don't see why it wouldn't.
Well, the Bible tells us that when darkness abounds, now everybody knows what that means, right? Darkness
Some do,
abound.
some don't.
Okay. When darkness, which is more or less saying when evil abounds, or when evil hearts abound, when people who enjoy evil, whatever it is, when darkness abounds, grace does all that much more abound. That's the King James version of it, right? But grace abounds even more. And it's kind of cool to me because I know that we're in that generation, that time, that era when darkness is abounding. I don't know if anybody would disagree with me, but it seems like it's surrounding all of us at all the time. But that also
It's that
is
much more prevalent.
we have a promise from our God who never lies and never misrepresents the truth and who never misses the point, right? We've got a promise from him that grace would all that much more abound. And it's one of the reasons why one of the big pushes in my personal walk with God, my personal study every morning, my prayer time, it's all about love. Love, just having love. I love my family and also I love people that I come in contact with. It's a different love, right? Just like my love for my family is different love than the love I have for God. Nonetheless, loving people, just loving people, loving people. And that grace comes into play really strong in that kind of situation.
That's what it starts
Man,
with, first of all, loving and kind of yeah, I mean, he knocked it right there, knocked it out of the park with that, loving people and just understanding they're all people too.
yep. Yep. I am a person, right? When I was in radio, there was this artist, forget what his name was, don't matter. He sang a song or he put out a song that the title of it was For the Grace of God Go I. Just pause for effect there.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I
let me say
trying to
that again.
think if I've heard it.
There, but for the grace of God go I. Now he has a very country twang, and I played it in a Southern gospel station, not in a contemporary station, but it was a Southern gospel station that I was doing a shift at, and this artist came out with this song. I couldn't get enough of it. There, but for the grace of God. So anytime I run into anybody who may not be as feel like or in their lifestyle, they may not seem as though they are as fortunate as I am or they're struggling with sin more than I might be, it doesn't matter because there, but for the grace of God, go I. That's exactly where I would be, except for the grace of God. And it makes me appreciate my relationship with God all that much more.
It's easy to go
Yeah.
question what that means and go deep into it, to say the least. What exactly does that mean? But that can be a pretty lengthy conversation.
Different episode, no doubt. And
Different episode. Yeah, there we go.
one we might want to tease a little bit. Hey, it's coming up in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whenever we're going to be talking about this, because there might be a person listening, or there might be a person watching, who knows someone who could benefit from knowing what it means to be in that relationship and how it goes. And we may want to talk about that at length sometime. Talk about it. Tease it.
I like it. I
Right.
like it.
Right on. Right on. Well, anything else going on?
Yeah, I mean, other than planning for our Montana trip, you pretty much got it squared away with everything going on.
Right on. Right on. It's funny because you and I talk generationally, right? You're from your generation. I'm from my generation. Some of our viewers or listeners, most
What
of
is
us,
your generation?
I think Gen Z. No,
No, you're
Gen
not
Z
Gen Z.
is your generation,
Yeah, I
right?
think I'm Gen Z or Gen X, one of the two. I honestly should know mine. I know I'm right under millennial, so I want to say I'm Gen Z.
You're under millennials?
Yeah, I'm not quite the millennial. Tiffany is a millennial. I'm not. And then I think you're a baby boomer.
I think you're
Or no, are
right.
you before?
I don't know. But
We're
I
gonna have
think
to
I'm a
get back
baby
with you
boomer.
guys on this. We'll wrap around as well on this, on what generations we come from. But Chris
But
is definitely a older generation, and I'm a middle generation. I'm not even
right.
the younger generation anymore.
And so I was born in 65 and you were born in 1999, right?
Yes,
The last year
snuck in
before
there.
the millennials. Yes.
Yep. So now
Yes.
my goal is to live to the year 2100, so I can live in 3 centuries.
That's
101.
awesome. Of course, you're only a year in one century, but it's time in that century. And that would be cool. So what do you need to live to? 20 what?
101, 2100.
2100. The year
To
2100
the
you
year
will have been
2100.
you'll have lived in three different centuries.
Yes, 1900s, 2000s, and 2100s.
So yeah, yeah. Well, that means you would be 101 at that point
101.
in age.
A century's
Okay.
100 years, right?
Yep.
And then a decade's 10 years.
Yep. That's correct. That's
We
correct.
should know this information.
Well, yes, we should actually. That was convicting.
Yeah, yeah, right? It really makes you question, how much do I know? How much do I
Oh boy.
soak in?
Well, see, okay, that's something that I got to force myself not to watch. There are influencers out as a man on the street, right? As interviewing people on the street and asking them simple questions like, when was America born? And they have
Oh,
no
yes.
idea, right? But I'm sure there are questions that
2012?
But I'm sure there are people that would ask me a question that I wouldn't know either. So I mean, we could make it just as embarrassing. But it's
Yes.
ironically, hill freaking hilarious, and at the same time embarrassing. For some of these people.
It doesn't help when you have a camera in your face, you're kind of just put
Yep,
on the
and
spot
a
like
microphone.
that. You're all of a sudden
Yep,
asked a question with a mic
yep,
and a camera, and you're like, "Whoa, what is it?" If you
yes,
would have asked me this a couple weeks ago, I would have definitely given you the answer. But
or at
now,
least or at least while I was still in school studying it.
mhm.
And that's for me, it's even harder because I'm older than you are, obviously, by 30 something years. And so you were in school much more recent than I was. So you'd probably have a better memory on some stuff. But still, I mean, even then, people will ask you questions, and it's kind of hilarious.
I've seen those videos. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I have to force myself to stop watching them because if I let myself, I would sit for like 2 hours watching that kind of stuff. I find it way too
Mhm.
entertaining and I laugh too much. And then I cry. Not really, but I mean,
That is quite the roller coaster of emotions that you go through there.
well, that's what I feel like doing sometimes because it's so sad. It's like, is there a
Mhm.
person? Are there any young people at all that paid attention in school? But there are. And quite a few of them have
Yes.
decided to go the route of college or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
That's where I've been. It's funny because every day all of us fight the same temptation, and that is to watch too much of something, right? We've got our
Oh, man.
phones, we got them in our hands, and we got a moment down and we might look at our phone and then somebody sent us something by text message. Next thing you know, we're going to that thing that they sent us by text message. And then that leads into another one and another one and another. And you're scrolling for you know it, a
Just
half
keeps
hour.
going.
Yeah. It is like, what am I
Doom
doing? Right.
scrolling.
Yeah. That's right. That's a good way to put it too. Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
But
Wasting your life away on social media on something that's not, furthering you in
productive.
any way, not in anything productive. That's very true. How do you fix that,
Well, yeah, I think it's a state of mind, right? For
you
many
think?
of us, well, think about it. Why do you even do it? Right? The reason why you do it is because it's entertainment. And our
And they've
eyes
figured out how to
and our mind.
hone in on that.
Exactly, right? So, and it's funny, nobody really figured out how to hone on it. The people who created the social media platforms that we're doing this on, they kind of had an inkling, okay, this could be good, right? People will watch this and then they'll want to watch another one and then they'll want to watch another one, okay? And that's how these things no doubt partially evolved. So, I mean, we all know how Facebook evolved, right? There was none of that. It was people connecting, right? And then boom, it turned into something totally different, and then all these other things developed out of it, whether it was TikTok or Instagram and all that stuff. But
Instagram, yeah, all of the above.
right then, and we as human beings are really really excited about being entertained all the time. I mean, goodness, and
Yeah.
laughing is contagion. The Bible says that laughter doeth the body good, and it doth the heart good, like medicine does. And I don't know exactly what it
It's not
means
always
by that.
laughter, though. It's not always laughter, though. Sometimes you're getting
That
you can
entertains
get
us.
content that well, yeah, that's entertaining in other ways. It's not just laughter.
Yeah,
Or it's
absolutely.
captivating. It's the brain rot of it, of knowing that you're getting a dopamine hit and you're not having to do anything. You just sit there and watch and absorb like a sponge.
Well,
Stuff
well,
that may not be beneficial to you in any way. Obviously, there are some circumstances that you're like, okay, well, I'm watching this video for the sole purpose of learning what to do in this scenario, how to fix
okay,
this issue, whatever,
okay.
so be it.
I've had a lot of those.
And that could be
Absolutely.
dangerous because some people can utilize that as a crutch and be like, "Oh, well, I'm just watching stuff so I can use it for later on." And it's like, do you really need to know that
No,
information that you're
no,
currently
no.
watching?
You're absolutely right. No, but I mean, I have watched a lot of videos, TikTok videos, Instagram videos, some stuff on Facebook. I have watched them just to see what's next. I've done it. I mean, I've finished a video and I've thought, well, what's the next one, right? What's the next one? What wanting to know? I don't know that that's any different, but that has been a motive in a lot of cases for me.
So then it brings me back to it. What do we do to fix? How do we fix that?
Well, it's just again, it's a state of mind. I wanted to watch it. Why? Because I wanted to see. I wanted to see what someone was doing. I wanted to know what somebody was doing. Just because I was wanting stuff, right?
Can you
Was I
break
not?
free?
And so
I
you
mean,
have to.
yes.
Well, no, you have to want. You have to want to be productive more than you want that stuff. You have
And
to
that's tough.
want. You have to want to spend time with your family more than you want that stuff. You know, and maybe looking at it through, I'm sure, if we were to look at these kinds of things through God's eyes for 1 minute, it would totally revolutionize who we were.
Can you balance that?
Balance
Can
it?
most people, a majority of human beings, can we balance that relationship with social media to where it's healthy in a way to where we consume, but it's only on occasion without it getting too out of control and reaching a point of where you're just spending 6 to 8 hours a day on that device, on that platform specific.
Wow, that's a
And
lot.
that's
Okay,
an average. That's a normal
okay.
amount for most people.
Well, who do you know that is really disciplined in their life? Think
Ooh,
about it.
personally or like someone famous or
No, no, personally, or it may be even somebody famous. I mean, but somebody who's really disciplined. They're just disciplined, and they're not going to let themselves. They are not going to let themselves, knowing that the benefits. There are no benefits to being that guy, that person, that girl, that guy, whatever, that spends more than 15 minutes a day total. Just checking out what's on TikTok or just checking out what's on Facebook or whatever. We all know someone that disciplined, right? And a couple of them that I know personally that are that disciplined, they just got rid of it altogether. They were like, man, if I have it in my life, it's a temptation.
it's
I'm just going
easier.
to get rid of it. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not going to
So
have a
that means
TikTok account.
you cannot have a healthy relationship with it.
Well, I
So what you're
mean,
saying is even the truly disciplined ones still remove it altogether because it's not something that can be done in moderation.
Well, is that true though? Okay, I mean, I've got a couple friends, like I said, that have gotten rid of it altogether. They're just their discipline manifests itself differently than a person with the kind of discipline that says, "Look, I can have this stuff on my phone and I don't even watch it." Why? I got too much going on in my life. I got too many things to
You got
do.
too much. It's
Right,
very true.
exactly. And and whatever it is I'm doing, it's taking me away from my family. So I have no interest in it. A good example would be somebody you and I both know who really doesn't have any interest in all that junk. Matter of fact, one time I sent a ministry related TikTok from an influencer that was dealing with something, and it really ministered to me, and I thought, man, this is going to minister to the board of directors for real life. And so I sent it to the board of directors, and I got a message back from this person saying, "Hey man, don't worry about sending that stuff to me. I don't watch it." Yeah.
Respectfully. I mean, that's actually that's a crazy thing to see back because you do not get that text from a lot of people. Most people
Exactly.
will click it, watch it, and have something to say about it.
Exactly. Exactly. That same person, though, however, would probably never watch our podcast because he's got too much going on in his life. Right. And so
Of course.
there's good and bad. There's good and bad in it.
Mhm.
So
But
it's
can you
really about,
have a balance?
or should you just remember what's more important, right? So develop a set of priorities. I think this is the way it has to happen. We've all got priorities in our life. There are some things that are really important to us. You have things that are important to you. I have things that are important to me. And if we're disciplined, now here's where discipline comes into the picture. If a disciplined person is going to fast at least one time a week because they want their relationship with God to be enhanced and they want to keep their flesh under subjection. And that's one of the ways that we do it. That's one of the only ways many of us men can do it. So we fast once in a while and remind ourselves while we're fasting of why we're fasting, right? So a disciplined person is going to have priorities to accomplish every day in life. And and because of the fact that you don't have enough time in a day to do all of the things that you need to do, you never get time to sit and watch TikTok. You never get time to sit and watch Instagram because all of the priorities are, and the bottom line is, and the bottom line is true no matter how you slice it, we've all got too much to do to spend a lot of time on these platforms. And when we are, we're neglecting bigger, more responsible things in our lives.
That's it. So it's understanding where your priorities lie,
Yes.
understanding that these priorities are essential, so you get them done, and then all of a sudden you go back to your social media, you go back to your comfort, and you're like, "Well, I did these already. I'm comfortable. I have some more tasks, but they're not as major. They're not as important in life." Home chores, side projects, whatever you got going on. You did the main priority ones, but those aren't essential enough to where you're doing those other ones. And it kind of puts you in this limbo state to where it's like, well, this is comfortable. I can get to those later. I can get to those
Woo!
later. I can get to those later.
Whoa,
3 years, you're in the same stagnant
come
position.
on. Come on.
And I think that's it, is understanding, no, 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 no. Social media can be a part of your life as long as you're able to understand that it's at the bottom of the totem pole. You
Yeah,
have all of the rest of your life to prioritize before you let social media get involved. At that
come on.
point, then you can let social media be a portion, you take up a portion of your day, of your time that is worth so much more than what you're
Absolutely.
giving it.
Absolutely.
I think you nailed it. I think you and then obviously having that relationship with God as a backup and kind of just communicating to him and being like, "Okay, well, I need strength in this because some people may need to cut it cold turkey, just like every other addiction. It can be, an addiction as well, but at the same time, a majority of the world, it's understanding that balance and that balance between, what you're doing in your life and what you can give to just wasting time, which is
Wow.
a very big thing compared to back in the day. I feel like
Well,
if you were
this
bored, you
that
went and
brings
played football with your friends.
exactly. Exactly. When I was a kid, I played. I played all day long. We didn't have cell phones. So I didn't waste any time whatsoever on that stuff. And it's easier for me as a result, right? It's easier for me. I'm sure that it is for you. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure it is a little bit easier for me for that reason, right? It's how I was raised. That brings up a really good question I'd like to ask you. And this is a little personal for us, right? And the rest of the world gets to see it. But when you were young, when you were anywhere from 12 on up to 18 years old, how much did you struggle to have my attention because I was on the phone, because I was on my phone looking at my phone? Think about that. Think about it a minute.
Not nearly as much as what people deal with nowadays.
Really? Okay,
Like,
maybe
not
that's
at all.
true. Really?
Practically none.
Well,
In comparison to what they deal with nowadays,
okay then. Okay,
your
and that's
relationship with your family can be completely eradicated by just you being consumed by your phone.
think about that.
Moments together with your wife are you and her spending on the couch, sitting across from each other on your phones. It's not together. I mean, you're together, but you're not together. You're not doing something together.
Cool.
You're not prioritizing each other.
Wow.
When was the last time some people, not all, but some people can let that get to a point to where it's, where when was the last time you prioritized that person, like, on even on going on a date? Because 'cause you're so focused in just getting your work done and then going home and chilling and usually ending up on a phone or some type of device, and that goes further than social media. But,
Yes, it
I mean,
yes, it
that's a huge dilemma and issue in today's day and age in comparison to even what I dealt with when I was young.
wow.
Is that
Wow.
what you were saying?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming. It's funny because things are kind of a little bit of a blur for me, right? You guys grew up way too freaking fast. That's all I've got to say. But it was enough time to where some of the things have escaped my memory. And I am assuming that there may have been a few moments, maybe where you didn't ever have to for my attention or struggle for my attention while I was scrolling TikTok because it didn't exist. Matter of fact, when you were young, the only thing that
Yes.
we had was Facebook, and it was only used as a platform for me to communicate with other people in Facebook. And we didn't have the Facebook that we have today, where there's
No, there
video
was
after
no
video
reels,
after
there was
video.
no short form content. It was
Correct.
strictly farm simulator games that you would invite your friends to and chatting with
And I
friends
didn't,
on
I
Facebook.
had no games. I had no games to invite my friends
You had
to.
no that's crazy.
Isn't it?
That was huge back then when Facebook first
And
started.
And I'm sure there were moments where you wanted my attention, but I was on the phone with somebody because I was always trying to make something happen in my business, right?
Okay. Yeah, in that
And
aspect, yes.
yes, and that hurts my heart, you know? And now it's even harder for young people because their parents are not just involved in phone calls, which happens. That is still happening today. That same struggle that I was having when you were young, people are having that same struggle today, trying to make things happen, just happen in their life, whether it's something for business
Generational.
or whatever. It's part of because we got cell phones now, we're on the phone all the time, talking, what have you. But more so now than ever, people are on their phones not just for that interpersonal communication that we had in place to take care of business or whatever. They're on their phones now because of the doom scrolling, and there's multiple platforms, and the big ones are TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Am I right?
Oh yeah, I mean
Right.
YouTube's up there. Anything
Okay,
that
and then
has short
YouTube.
form content.
Yes, absolutely. And so now it's even harder. And that means our children are going to look up at us at times and wonder whether or not they're going to get our attention, or our grandchildren or whatever, looking for our attention, and it's not there.
See, at
How
least
horrible.
whenever it comes that's scary, but at least whenever it came to, what you were explaining about your circumstance, even though it was unfortunate considering, there was times to where, you were busy doing something, at that time it wasn't just scrolling on social media and doom scrolling. It was like you said, trying to further your business, which
Make
included
deals
us,
happen.
further
Absolutely.
yourself, which includes us, and kind of furthers us as a family. We lost time with you in that moment, and that's something that I constantly think about is, do I want to prioritize, getting us further along because I'm the man of the household, or do I want to focus in the moment and be there for Lincoln and Tiff and in future, adventures and endeavors. So you can never forget about that balance. It is definitely a balance between that relationship with your family and being the man of the household and working, but yes, as far as what you were saying earlier, that is a little bit different because there's that sense of, this is for me and my family. It's unfortunate that I'm losing time with my family, and you have to understand that balance. But
Yes.
at the same time, it's not what it is today, where it's just, well, I just spent 30 minutes watching other people do the most random, dumb, stupid stuff that pertains to me in no way, and could have been spending it with my son, daughter, family, friends, whoever, spouse.
Wow. Wow.
One of
Dude.
Many topics that come with social media and what it is today and understanding that balance, that boundary.
Yes. So thanks for saying that. And if you're watching or listening, I just want to encourage you for a second because Noah and I have been talking about a topic that really deserves a whole lot more attention than we've given it. And that is that today, the relationships that we have with the people that we are in relationship with now physically, that are in our lives and right around us, whether it's a family member or a friend, it doesn't matter. When we are around them, they should feel like they're important to us. And when we are on the phone, doing any kind of junk, especially when it's doom scrolling or anything like that. And we're doing that kind of stuff when we're in their presence. Is it an insult to their presence near us? And does it take away from opportunities that we would have and later on would look at and say, oh my God, I wasted all that time that I could have been involved in them. I could have been plugged into who they were in their life and could have just been there in their life. And when they look back, they're not going to look back at it and say, yeah, it was okay. I mean, and Chris was he was never really there. He was somewhere else.
Makes them feel lesser. What they have to say or what they want to do is lesser than what you're doing on your phone,
Wow.
or on social media, or on just, yeah, on a device of
Yeah.
any sorts. Yeah, it could be a dangerous place and quite the hot topic, quite the deep topic. There you go. Another deeply unnecessary storytelling right there that we kind of just get into, questionable advice, the whole shebang for us to end on right there.
And we do need to end. We've been talking for a while,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
but that's what happens.
it does. It's good. It does. And to leave you guys, what are your guys' thoughts on social media right now? Do you feel like it's a good thing, a bad thing? Do you think there is a boundary there? Do you think there's a way to kind of minimize or limit yourself on how you spend it and spending it with other people, because it is a part of society today. It is, I mean, that's what it is, what it is.
Big part.
Social media is
Yep.
such a big part. You
Yep.
truly have to have a social media presence or be a part of social media to understand what's going on in today's world.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can be very limiting. And
Yes.
yeah, give us your thoughts on that.
Please.
And
Please. Yes.
anything else to finish it off on?
Brother, not tonight. No.
All right.
Thanks very much. Thanks for spending
Yeah.
time.
Yep. Thanks for listening, everyone. I promise next week's episode will be on a lighter note.
Oh, that's a pretty tall promise.
Is it? Okay, maybe not. I take it back. I take it back. You'll just have to wait and see.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thanks, Noah.
All right. All right, everyone. Have a good day. And remember, live life to the fullest.
Yep. Amen.